Right. Bam. That work? Hello, BoredGamer. You're doing well. Um, hope you're excited by Fleet Week and stuff that's coming after with like Xeno Threats and 3.23.2 and 4.0 and Citizen Con and all that sort of jazz over the next few weeks. We've got Alien Week as well. There's loads happening. And we're in the midst of Fleet Week. Hope everyone's doing well. Ironclad can be my dad. I love it. Okay. Oh, are you like a smaller Drake ship like a caterpillar? Is that? No worries. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope you're having a great. Is it Friday? It's Friday. Congratulations, you made it to Friday. Yeah, we'll talk a bit about the Drake Ironclad. It is a concept ship. We'll talk about the Hornets being retired, the Mark Ones. And we can talk about if you want to talk about med beds, we can talk about the med beds and the so as a medivac. We can talk about the modular nature of ships that are being brought into game with the Retaliator and the MPUVs becoming modular. It's all relatively exciting. Rumor has it has only around 3,000 SCU, I believe. So I do not know the amount of SCU that the Ironclad has. It'll be a reasonable amount. It will be, I would expect it to be like 4 caterpillars. That would be my expectation. But we'll sort of wait and see. It's got a load of benefits. So it's not going to be quite as large as a Hull C. But it is going to be a lot more than a caterpillar. It's between that range. I'm expecting the ship to be between $450 and $500, roughly. It does have more armor than sort of Caterpillar and the Hull C. It's got more armament than them. You can use that cargo bay as a little hangar. Let me actually show off. Here we go. We're almost clicked on end stream. That's how good I am. So I have this video that's about to come out on my channel. I just have it playing in the background with no audio on. Just so we've got the pictures of the Ironclad. But yeah, it's got a relatively big entrance ramp, but the assault version they talked about, sort of the variant, is big enough to be able to store and allow entry and exit of larger vehicles like the Nova tanks. So I'm assuming that actually that ramp is not suitable for Novas unless you get the assault version. But yeah, this is more of a armored cargo freighter. 6 crew, they said, sort of the sweet point. It's got a little command module that attaches. It's got a little command deck at the top. You can see here, which is not the command module. Not the command module, but it is where you sort of coordinate the cargo stuff of the ship. But the command module is over here and is detachable. Yeah, I really like the idea of it. I mean, it's got a reasonable amount of defenses to be able to fight stuff off. And a lot of people, I think, would be pretty happy with an armored carrier in game. You think it's going to be 12? Are you talking about 1,200 SCU, or are you talking about $1,200? I think it's more. It's going to sort of be like in the $450 to $500 range. SCU wise, it's really hard to tell. I suspect people have crunched the numbers, but you don't know how high it's meant to stack. So it's based on volume of that and what is actually usable volume. And also there's like more cargo behind the main cargo area where you can have vehicles and sort of logistics equipment. So there's a lot going on with that ship. But yeah, 1,200 SCU, like that. I can... Really hard to tell, isn't it? It could be loads more than that. It could be double that if they go, well, actually, the usable capacity in the cargo bay is actually loads. Yeah, I just think it was interesting. I really like the ship. I typically like anything from Drake or Crusader just immediately. And then I do really like Aegis and Anvil as well for like combat ships. I'm just a monster. I like loads of the stuff in Star Citizen. I think it's going to be relatively well received. We'll have to wait until Monday, though, Saturday, for Drake Defense Con to actually see it. And my wife was upset with our neighbours, who unbathed topless. Personally, me and the neighbour are all on the fence about it. Me and the neighbour are all on the fence about it. Solid dad joke there. Good job. Good job. Banned for life. No. Any guesses why they ditched the Apollo? What do you mean? Last year they said it was actively being made in All Ships Q&A, but the past All Ships didn't mention it. So it's likely that they're either working on other ships, or they've moved a team off it, or it's being worked on as a surprise for later this year. Those are your options. It is relatively popular. It's pretty popular. People are pretty excited and hype about it. And the general sort of consensus is that there is a big push with medical gameplay as well, as you can see, with all the recent stuff with the tier 3 beds now being able to respawn people again. I say again because we used to have it in 3.9, 3.10. The ability for the Cutlass Red to respawn people in those tier 3 beds, and can now again. So Death of a Spaceman is still going to be a thing. So bear that in mind. And yeah, I wouldn't... I'm thinking Apollo by sort of... Make my face less wonky. That's what the Apollo should do. I'm thinking the Apollo probably by middle of next year sort of thing. That'd be my guesstimate for it. Be interesting to see what ships can fit in the cargo bay because of the roof, right? Of that Ironclad. And we don't know. We can see roughly the sort of size they've got planned for it. But Saturday, I think we'll get a lot more information about the sort of volumes of things. Follow up. I know that all of your mods are already perfect and amazing. What's going on? They are perfect and beautiful. I'm going backwards through the questions because I'm a monster. When can I be a mod? You know what? With an attitude like that. Yeah. Beautiful. They are now shut by your mod. Get crazy. Normally I discuss that with the other mods and stuff, but you know, I'm tired. I'm moving out real soon. 3 weeks. I'll be in my new place. Oh. And sort of starting to box stuff up. I'm getting my mum's house in a state so it's mobility ready for if she needs it in the future. Yeah. Busy at the moment. Hey, Bored. Ashla City here. I need help with financial decision. In your honest opinion, what would you prefer, the Mercury Star Runner or Corsair, and why? Depends what I wanted to do. If you want something that is more exploration focused and potentially a slightly bigger crew, I'd go for the Corsair. And Mercury Star Runner is my favourite ship. And if you want something that's a smaller mission runner that's got some data capabilities, it's got some future of that data as cargo, maybe a little bit of hacking, then I'd potentially go for the Mercury Star Runner. It's going to be what do you want to focus on more of those two things. I think for general mission running, if you've got a slightly larger crew, you probably want to run the Corsair just for it's going to be really good for that. But if you're running with a smaller crew or you want a more data focus, or those computers are important to you, then maybe the Mercury Star Runner. Cool little smuggling ship, Mercury Star Runner as well. I appreciate all the kind words. Thank you. Please, if you'd like to ask any questions during the live stream, just question in brackets and ask away. See, the Ironclad isn't open top. I suppose it could be if you wanted it to be. It is armoured. The ceiling hanger is open and closed. You choose when to do that. Can things like the Legionnaire hack that? Or is it just, I suppose it's just docking ports, they said. Do you know anything about when they're going to start adding ships the size of the Bengal or larger? After Squadron 42, almost certainly. Like they want to get the Idris out with Squadron 42, but the Javelin will come pretty soon afterwards, and then the Bengal and stuff will probably come in the not too distant future after that, because they're going to be in a relatively good state for Squadron 42. Yeah, they're going to have most of their interior, if not all of their interior, done. I'd assume anyway. When is the cargo action coming? And the manually putting in cargo. So with 3.23.2, it looks like the next point patch, you're going to be getting freight elevators, persistent hangars, cargo, manual cargo loading and unloading, item banks, and cargo hauling missions. That's the big load of cargo gameplay that's coming in. It is part of this 3.23 patch cycle. It should be in the next point patch. That's not a confirmation, but that's an expectation. Guesstimate on the new Drake ship and Kraken. So, almost certainly the Ironclad before the Kraken. CIG implied as much. They said they're working on that, and then they're going to be using that to help build out the Kraken because of shared assets, and then it helps them build larger ships. I'm expecting the Ironclad end of next year. I suppose the 600i rework has been gone. No. I'd expect to see that later this year. They don't have enough people working on ships. I know that will surprise a lot of people, because those artists that work on ships are needed for environments and stations and loads of other stuff as well. And there are shared skill sets. Any idea how long it will take to get a new system in after Pyro? So they've been working on the next system as well, so I wouldn't actually expect it too long before the next system is in. They could probably release Nyx a year later, and potentially even sooner than that. And obviously it looks like they're working their way to the Odin system. But there are systems like Magnus and a few other more simple systems they could also flesh out the verse with pretty quickly, pretty easily, in my opinion. I keep hearing Ironclad, but I don't know what that is. The Ironclad is this ship. It's a new Drake concept ship. It is an armoured heavy freighter, sort of in between the size of a Caterpillar and a Hull C in sort of cargo amount, closer to the Hull C, I believe. It's a big cargo freighter. And it's got an openable hangar at the top. And a ramp at the front. There's a potential assault variant there, making a military variant that's sort of got a better ramp for offloading vehicles and having like tanks, and a repair bay in it as well for vehicles. Not sure if that's going to be on sale at the same time or if it's just a version they're thinking about. I really like the idea of it, but that's the Drake Ironclad. It will be on sale starting Saturday as part of Drake Defense Con. Why are the new exteriors so busy with sharp edges and angles versus the prior ships, which generally have smoother skin? It is based a bit on a manufacturer type and that sort of stuff. Expect these things to get refined a little. Yeah, different ship manufacturers, different aesthetics. And the larger Drake ships are more edgy brutalist rather than curved. Angled brutalist. How many Furies can fit in the Ironclad? Probably quite a lot. I am doing very well, thank you very much, Play. Music back on. So, what else have we got? Thanks, Board. Another question. How many months of the membership will allow me to ask for mod 2? Anyone is more than welcome to approach me about becoming a mod. Don't need membership for becoming a mod or anything like that. Shark's Bite is a bit of ages, and I chatted to him a few times. He sent me gifts, and like Summer Yeti and people, they're people in the community I've known for a good amount of time, and are pretty good. Typically, I would discuss with the other mods, or at least Huntress or Zin and Huntress, about, is it right? Or do you think they're cool for it? And they'd go, yeah, no worries, or probably. But if anyone wants to become a mod ever, you drop me an email, contact@boredgamer.co.uk, or on my Discord. Message me there. Can have a chat. If you genuinely want help, more than welcome to. I say more than welcome to. If appropriate, but I don't have millions of mods. Happy for your house, BG. Thank you very much, Summer Yeti. Bought my first a year and a half ago. Felt like the cops were going to arrest me for trespassing for like 2 months. Oh, you got imposter syndrome in your own house. Yeah, it's a terrifying thing. I mean, I know I can afford it, but it feels like I can't. Do you know what I mean? I haven't got loads of money or anything. But I'm not over leveraged from getting this, and I've realised, like, even if the YouTube channel closed down, I'd still be getting a reasonable amount of money from my other work, and I use the time to do something else. So I always plan ahead to make sure, like, what if the YouTube economy sort of dried up or whatever, right? Gotta be smart. Buy a house. BoredGamer, I do see small camps on all videos where people can land beside distribution centres. Do CIG not even plan to make some bigger cities? Well, there's going to be lots of... Okay. There's going to be other settlement types. There's going to be other things other than distribution centres. There might be bigger versions of distribution centres. There's going to be more cities on planets. There's lots of stuff coming out, right? They're building all of the tools and archetypes for lots of different cities and types of city and types of thing, like distribution centres. And then they're using that toolbox then build out lots of other things as well. I mean, you've got lots of relatively bespoke, custom settlements around, although they're quite small in size. Distribution centres are actually pretty big. But then you've also got the big landing zones. I assume the Zeus MR is held back by bounty gameplay. Any rumours what's happening with that? Not really. So we do know that they've got a lot of... They've been working on bounty hunting 2.0 with the sort of hover trolleys for the cryopods for that, and getting ships ready for that. I'm not sure when that bounty hunting gameplay is coming. It might be something they release with 4.0 or at the end of this year, but it's feeling like it's going to be like by the end of the year that bounty hunting gameplay is going to start to come in. That would be the sort of new updated version anyway. Do you think the Argo Tractor is going to win the ship showdown at Intergalactic Aerospace Expo this year? You know what? It's possible, isn't it? It's more worthy of winning than the previous MPUV winner, right? Retroactively, it looks like, oh, okay, now I can see that. It's a cool modular frame to put these different pods on and these two tractor beams on. So the people that don't know, the MPUV Tractor is like the MPUV Cargo and Personnel, but they're making all of those ships modular. And the tractor has two tractor beams on it and like an empty pod underneath, and it will be able to slot the cargo and the personnel pod underneath it, or a cargo container. 16 SCU cargo container, I believe. It's pretty cool. I really like modularity. It's one of the things that really got me into Star Citizen, and it's only now starting to come online, and it's a little trickle with the Retaliator and stuff. How long do you think it will take for all Hornets to get the mark? II treatment. So they're working on that now. They said that they're going to make a Mark II of the Tracker, the Ghost, and the Super Hornet as well. There is no time indication on that. I would expect them all to be in game next year. It sort of makes sense. How much of any news of the Polaris price increase? ? And will the new value be applied if I exchange the package? We don't know how much the price increase on the Polaris is going to be. I'd expect it to be $150 more. You're talking about the ship being around $900, probably. That's my expectation. That is certainly not a confirmation. Have you had anything about the 600 I rework / gold standard pass? Something that I'm expecting in by the end of the year, but we'll have to wait and see. My mind keeps on jumping around with this. Like, I don't think it's a huge rework. Well, it is relatively big rework, but I do think they did some of it, and I do think it's something that's not going to take them a huge amount of time. Whereas it does take up relatively skilled artists a reasonable amount of time. The origin stuff's relatively simple though, because it's like pretty textures. It's quite simplistic in its prettiness. It's hard to tell. Do you have any recommendations for a VPN? NordVPN, nordvpn.com/BoredGamer. That would be my recommendation, because it's the best darn VPN that I use. Just bear with me 1 second. I can hear my mother calling for my cat. I just want to make sure my cat doesn't run off into the distance. She's pretty old. Both my cat and my mother. Bear with me. I'll magic an ad for you. There you go. Ad. Found her. I confirmed my cat is okay. I was looking out the window yesterday, and there was just a deer in my garden just looking at me. That's what I will miss a lot from here is from this house. Is that there's a nice woodland area just behind where there is like a nightingale, there's foxes, there's deer, there's a badger. The badger comes to my my door. He's come into my kitchen once before, so I always knows to close the door in the evening now. But it's absolutely terrifying seeing a badger sit next to you. They're big. They are big. He's like, oh. Does the Ironclad have a med bay? Not as far as I'm aware. But just bring a medical vehicle with you. Right? You literally just chuck a medivac in the back. But BoredGamer's just become a BoredGamer. That is a... You gave me a tier 1 sub? That's very confusing. I'm BoredGamer UK. Oh, I can hear my cat demands entry. Say to yourself. She's clipping around. Robert Johnston, thank you so much. I appreciate all those gifted subs. Robert Johnston, a genuine champion of justice on the channel. I hope you're doing well, sir. Hope it's not too late there. Yeah, I'm super excited for the Drake Ironclad to come into game. I know a lot of people will be suffering from ship fatigue, but I'm going like 11 years strong, and I still enjoy my ships. So if I'm jostling about, it's because I'm stroking my cat who's under my feet. He's demanding attention. Bored, when I will be able to use the Argo SRV without a crime stat? It's called the single most useless ship I own. Yes, so it'll be fixed. I just don't know when. There's lots of problems like that, right? Right. What else do we have going on? What else is here? Yeah, question in brackets if you want to ask any questions. Bad cat. Bad cat. She's not a bad cat. She's the best cat. I can't read what this message says. Did you just send me... Was there no message here, Robert Johnston? Was it just money? I mean, I'll accept your money. I like money. Thank you for the money. Oh, no. Sorry, just got here, so I'll re-ask everything I already asked. Ironclad, freighter, or pocket carrier? Okay, look out Anvil Liberator. So, yes, you could use it as a pocket carrier, right? Because of the opening on top. We don't know how big that opening is, so that is going to be dependent on exactly what you can get in. And, I mean, I'm really liking the idea of that sort of military version as well. So I'll have to work out what's going on with that. As and when they release it, because they didn't confirm that the assault version was actually a thing. They said they were thinking about it. So we'll see if it's something that's made it into the concept cell, or if it's going to be something they talk about later. Robert Johnson is top tier. So I'm thinking 450 to 500 for the Ironclad. That's my current expectation. I'm still a bit confused on how persistent and personal hangers will work. Is it when I call my hanger, all my stuff just pops in? So, yes. So you call your hanger, it generates that hanger, and then you get in the elevator, and it takes you to that hanger. That hanger now exists until it needs to stream out. So you can invite other people to your hanger, or whatever, and then when you leave, you sort of, when you come back, request landing, it will regenerate that hanger with all the stuff exactly where it was left. So it is persistent. You can leave crumbs and bottles on the floor. You can customize it with couches and things. And there is going to be a level of customization and items to put in there. Do you think that all ships will eventually have some modularity? No, but a lot will. And there'll be lots of modularity, I think, beyond just the general customization of ships, yes. Yeah, a lot of people thinking the price is going to go up a lot more than just like $150, but I'm thinking go up 150 to like 900. That's my expectation, but we'll have to wait and see. Would you ever get a javelin? Like I just did. I've got a javelin. I got a javelin for referrals, though. Referral codes. Going to ram it into the sun, probably the first thing we do. Try out some silly stuff. Do you like the new Hornet Mark II? Yes, I do. However, I like the F8 more. Do I like it more than the Mark I? Visually, I like the Mark I more. On paper, I like the Mark II more. Are we expecting 3.20, 3.2 soon after Invictus ends? Probably at some point in June. Question, we don't have any info if there's going to be anything in the game like Orc Star Bases and EVE Online. So we knew that they wanted to have sort of stations and stuff that you would be able to fight over. There is going to be base building and fabrication, and expect CIG to want to continue to expand Star Citizen well beyond what they currently have for at least a decade, if not two. When Odyssey? Question mark. Don't know. It's hard to sort of tell with some of the ships how what their priority is. I mean, I wouldn't expect it to be a hugely high priority. I'd say most ships are within 2 years. I'd say most ships are within 2 years, like within reach of that. When do you think we might start seeing more gold standard updates? So, loads for 4.0 because they're putting in engineering for a load of ships, and they need the gold standard for the ships to have engineering. It's not going to be all ships that are fully set up for it, but it should be quite a lot. Did CIG give everyone an F7A Mark 1 free to fly today? Oh, not that I noticed. Has everyone got an ability to fly it or something? I didn't notice if that was the case. When can I get an F8A upgrade for my F7 F8C? That might be a thing in the future. It might be something you get through Squadron 42, playing that, or a reputation with the military, or some event in game. It's a possibility. But they have not said anything about it. Old hangar designs had multiple ship pads. New visuals seem to have a single pad that lift the ship on to a single pad. Any idea which it will be? So, personal hangars and persistent hangars and that sort of stuff, they'll want to have a single pad, large way of basically spawning it in as an instance, your hangar. There are going to be landing pads still available at locations like at the distribution centers. That's still going to be a thing, and the ability for ships to be spawned from the ground effectively out of a floor hangar, as it were. So yeah, everyone's been given an Avenger Titan, I believe, to try during Fleet Week. I want Titan suits. That's what I'm excited about. So, what I am also interested in sort of talking about, when we keep on bouncing around, is Robert Johnson giving me more money. I have to wake up in 3 hours, so good night. Keep the noise down, and please feck off. Thank you very much. I appreciate the money, you beautiful boy. Thank you so much, Robert Johnston. I hope you are well, and I hope you get sleep well. Thank you for jumping in, supporting the channel. It is appreciated, sir. So, with the Hornet Mark 1s, I think it's a weird choice to stop. So, people don't know, they're stopping selling both in-game and in the in-game shops. That's the same thing. Both in in-game shops and on the RSI website, the Hornet Mark 1 series. So, that's the Mark 1 Super Hornets, that's the standard civilian version, that's the Tracker, that's the Ghost, all of those. Not that they ever sold the F7A Mark 1, but no available to buy in game or to buy on the website because reasons. Because of the Mark 2, you will still be able to get them in game somehow in the future. So bear that in mind. I've just noticed someone has joined the channel called BoredGamer. Typically, that would get you reported for impersonation. So just be aware of that. If you're joining my channel with that name, it'll get reported by my multi-channel network, not by me typically as well. So just be aware. That's something I might not even have any control of. It's Misk Raptor or Origin 404 as best ship ever. Oh my god, the Misk Raptor, because I'd say it does actually exist. I mean, neither of them exist really. The Raptor was very funny, very silly. We might see the Raptor in game. It's just a street sweeper. And the 404, I think it was the 400i, just with invisible hull. Do you know if the Standard Saber got a gold pass? I believe it did. I believe it had a gold pass, yeah, at the same time. That's not a confirmation, I just believe it has. Or the Saber had a gold pass, then the Raven did more recently. The Mark 1 got a gold pass, right? The old model is gone like the 300i, only leaving variations on the new chassis. So, the 100i... Sorry, the 100i? What am I talking about? Oh. The Hornet Mark 1s will still remain in game. And they're not getting replaced by the Mark 2s. There's also now the Mark 2s, which are replacing them in the shops, shall we say. But they are two effectively different hulls and ships, or series of ships. And the Mark 1s will be available to get in game somehow, and they will still have a gold standard pass and be updated. I'm not sure if all of those Mark 1s had a gold pass already or not. I don't believe they have for a while. They will need one for Squadron, though. Assault Ironclad equal M2 killer? Potentially. I mean, they're not designed to really fight each other. I mean, the stuff on board might. Do you think they'll make self-destruct on the Caterpillar and Fatterpillar affect only the main body of the ship if you detach the cockpit and blow up the pirates? Oh. Can you, with the command modules, detonate your cargo section and not the command module? Good question. Very interesting. I don't know. Do you think there's a new ship to replace older ships like the Ironclad that looks like Caterpillar? Yeah. They just want more ships. It's filling holes where they see them. More ships, more money, more customization, more varied and more depth in game. Like, win-win for more of this stuff, right? When do you think passenger cargo will be implemented into the game? So you're talking about VIP transport, transporting players, transporting NPCs, this sort of the Endeavour? No. What's the name of the VIP passenger transport? The big one. The one that's like a 747. Genesis Starliner. Thank you. I only had the Endeavour in my head. That was a weird brain fart. Yeah, so I don't know. Like, the ability for NPCs to be able to move between grids now works, and it has for a while. They wanted to have taxi gameplay, as it were, which is basically what you asked, last year, but they prioritized other stuff in front of it. So if they work on it, they can have it in game next year. What ships am I getting this week, if any? So I'll be grabbing some paints for sure. I saw an awesome C1 yellow paint that I liked, yellow and black. I might get a Drake Ironclad. It depends on a lot of stuff, or upgrade a ship to an Ironclad. I do have a caterpillar, and I might go, you know what? I didn't want this caterpillar for modularity anyway. I'll get a Ironclad. My cat is very old and hiding under the desk. Occasionally I bring her onto camera and I've picked her up. No one should buy themselves a javelin. It's monstrous. But obviously I have one. I mean, look, if you've got the disposable income, I'm not going to tell you how to spend your fun money. It's a very expensive, very cool ship, though. You can always get these things in game, but you do help the project hugely from doing it. And if that's your intention, then go crazy. Do you remember the old 300i? Yes, I learnt to fly in Arena Commander with the 325A in Vandal Swarm ages ago, with the old one, which could lock onto multiple ships with missiles and fire them all at different ships simultaneously. Made me very good at Vandal Swarm. And obviously, yeah, they've got the... So that new version of the 300 series replaced entirely the old one. It wasn't a Mark II. The Hornet Mark 1 and Mark 2 are different hulls. Yes, they might update these ships further separately. Yeah. Could you talk about the significance of armor factors mentioned in the Ironclad video? So, what do you mean, Wily Type? So, we know there's going to be physical damage system. We know there's going to be armor in-game. And that armor is going to be able to prevent damage from, or mitigate damage, because you're taking damage to your components when projectiles and damage hits them or nearby them. So if you've got armor, that sinks some of that damage. That armor has to be destroyed before it goes through to the next component. Whatever. Armor's going to be a very important thing. Public service announcement. Kraken is best-looking ship. Bored is best-looking streamer. At least 90% of that is true. I'm the best-looking person. Kraken, I love the Kraken. I think it's a beautiful ship. I think my favourite-looking ship is still the Mercury Star Runner. I love it. I absolutely love it. We don't have a proper armor system in the game yet. We only have a faked system, but it is going to be an important part of the game. But why do I have the Hornet F7A Mark 1 in-game ships terminal? So, did you have a ship pack with it in? Did you have the skin for the F7A upgrade from 2013 Veterans Day? There's a couple of other reasons why you might have it. I feel like I'm I've pledged the Hornet out of FOMO. I'm not happy with any of the ships, of my ships right now. Change them up, upgrade them. You can always upgrade them in November as well. Just change them a bit. Melt some of them, change them up for other ones. Do you think they'll ever redo the Mercury Star Runner's interior? It's possible they'll tweak it. They'll give it a gold standard, yeah. So a little bit of tweaking. And a lot of people want a emergency hatch or whatever, so there's another exit to the ship, right? I was throwing more towards the idea of armor being able to totally negate and deflect rounds. And okay, so we don't know exactly how armor's going to work yet, is the problem, right? It was mitigate versus prevent. Mitigate versus deflect. There's a lot of ways it could work, and there's a lot of different potential types of armor style and that sort of stuff, and I don't know all about it yet. Did you know that GG360 was extremely happy and grateful that you raided him? Yes, because I taught him about the balding man paradox, right? So, bald men are worried because they don't have hair. That's the thing. They think, oh, I wish I had hair. But it's a fallacy, okay? People like a beautiful head of hair. And people love a bald man. Okay? What no one likes, not the bald man, not the person that's going through it, whatever, is balding. Okay? No one likes someone that just, oh, you're bald. You haven't chosen a side. What is your opinion of how the Urza Medivac was advertised as opposed to their plans with Death of a Spaceman? They seem to conflict. Does the original idea of the Cutlass Red conflict? So, I don't think it conflicts at all. I think that neither of them are fully rounded out features. So, I'm fine, and I don't think there's a problem with having medibeds of all types be able to respawn. Now, there might need to be some restrictions, expensive components or juice that you need to use, limited range for respawn. Maybe you can be respawned even if you're dead, but you have to have your body taken back there first, things like that. So there's loads of stuff like that that sort of makes sense to me. And I think one of the ideas of Death of Spaceman is that if you respawn too much without sorting your DNA out, you can't. The idea is that eventually you can die, and you'll start to show damage on your character and that sort of stuff. So your character sort of tells a story and can have a legacy, and will eventually need to create a new character, and you transfer your stuff over to a new character, and there's a level of death tax. I just want, I think a nice interim medium as well would be, if you die and you respawn, well, you keep all the injuries that you had, yeah? Not ones that, like, not bleeding, but sort of like, had a head injury, you had a leg injury, whatever, you still basically got them until they're treated. Well, you've been respawned at a medical facility almost always when you respawn on a bed, or at a med bed, yeah? Bam, I've respawned at a med bed, I can then treat my injuries here. But if I only spawned at a tier 3 medbed, I can't treat those higher level injuries. And you can say it's trauma, or a bad connection, or a load of other reasons for it. But I think that's a nice medium to go, well, you can treat these injuries to a degree, and then you can take drugs to temporarily deal with them. But you need to go to a hospital, buddy. How is CIG going to keep solo player Care Bears happy while building a space sandbox environment? By having enough content for everyone and having areas that are clearly marked for certain things. So if you have safe security systems, that is going to be mostly suitable for people that want to stay in areas where there's low PvP or no PvP, and pirates aren't there unless you go to the outskirts. So as long as they clearly signpost stuff, as long as people know what they're getting into in each of the star systems they go into, and the possibilities that are there, I think that you can easily maintain both. Are you surprised that ship-to-ship docking isn't on the roadmap anywhere yet? It is a thing, though. Maybe it's not a... Maybe they don't consider it its own feature, that it's, well, we've got ship to starport docking. It's actually the same thing. Just expanding that out. They will chuck it in as its own feature, you're right. It'll be relatively soon. But they need it for the Legion now. They need it for the Legionnaire, which is why the Legionnaire might not be this year. What is your opinion on balance / incentive on the use of ship tractor beams? We use one over Howlheads. There's problems with criminal ratings and stuff like that, unfortunately. Eventually it will be used for, cargo management and ship towing, that sort of stuff. And it's the maximum weight that you can carry that's the important thing, right? What's your best guess for the cost of the Ironclad? $450 to $500 would be my expectation. When is version 3.20, 3.2? I'm expecting it towards the end of June. That would be my expectation. Do you think they'll add new FPS weapons soon? Maybe the crossbow or the Zenith sniper rifle or the electrons? They'll be adding them from patch to patch, right? You'll see probably see a load more weapons in 4.0. Have they mentioned what ship they're going to move on to after the Polaris? I think it's the Perseus. I think they're doing a big chain of RSI ships. I think the next one is the Perseus. Although that could change, for sure. Random question. Current owner of a Taurus, Constellation Taurus. If the Caterpillar will become a War Bond upgrade tomorrow for $295, it'll be $10 for me to upgrade. Worth it? If you like the Caterpillar. If you want to do more focused cargo or like the idea of the modularity the Caterpillar brings, yeah. I think it's worth it. My brain goes, it's worth it. But you lose the multi-role mission running nature that the Taurus gives you. Hacking when? They were working on hacking gameplay, and they have been for a while. I'm expecting it by the end of the year, although it could be sort of mid next year. They were talking about having it as like potentially a pipe game or some sort of gameplay like that that's in your HUDs, and they worked on it a little bit. They haven't been talking about it recently. And I know it might be silly to even ask, but how much of some 1G's complaints are the devs taking in? I will look through them all, because obviously he enjoyed some bits and was complaining about other bits. They are going to be watching stuff like that, and they're at least going to talk about them. Even if it's very briefly going, this is what the current sort of feel for this stuff is. So they have got roles at CIG for sort of content creator relation managers and things like that would be looking at exactly what content creators like Summit did, and what they play and what they think of the game, and going, how do we improve relations with them? How do we get them to talk about the game in a positive light? Stuff like that. So that's kind of a marketing thing as well. Because Summit, I suppose, represents a portion of more mainstream, some casual gamers. There's going to be some hardcore gamers there, but that sort of a different breed of gamer. Can the Ironclad fit the Legionnaire? Don't know yet. Quite possibly. We'll have to, on Saturday, hopefully we'll see a bit more of the size of that cargo bay / hangar that people are going to try and make it. And I wholly hope that we'll see the F8C before Invictus ends. I'm quite upset I didn't get the chance to buy one board. So they're likely going to be selling the F8 again with golden ticket sort of events. They'll probably do that a few times, in my opinion. Or probably see it at the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo? Question mark? Oh, it might be the Galaxy before the Perseus, or the Perseus then the Galaxy of the next RSI ship, or both simultaneously. You're right. They did talk about the Galaxy as well. So I thought they said Galaxy and the Perseus and then changed their mind, but I might have been wrong. Yep, people are saying it's the Galaxy than the Perseus. That's quite possible. Devin, an idiot. Will I be afforded a prosthetic head? Almost certainly, Jay Bird. And you deserve it, buddy. What's the first thing you're going to do in game when 4.0 releases? I have probably go through the jump point again. So I've already gone through the jump point in the server meshing tests, and moved between Stanton and Pyro and had a quick look around. But it was just a grey mess. It wasn't texture or anything. I want to have that experience of moving between star systems and the feel of server meshing works. That is a huge thing. And there's loads of stuff I'll want to do, but that's probably the first thing. Yeah, so it was my thought that the Perseus would be done next, because it'd probably be quicker and easier to do. But maybe that's not the case. But we'll have to wait and see. Yeah. Perfect. What is your guess for both the cargo capacity and the initial concept price of the Ironclad tomorrow? So, Ironclad, I think it's going to be between $450 and $500, sort of roughly. That's my expectation for it. But we'll have to wait and see, because maybe they go, well, actually, because of its armament and its armor and its sort of armored cargo area, it's better than the Hull C, or more valuable than the Hull C, although the Hull C should be able to carry a load more cargo than it. I'm thinking about 2,400 SCU. That's my expectation. I expect it's going to be both the pile up the cargo reasonably high. I think it's going to be about 2,400. And then you're sort of looking at like the Hull C's almost double. Yeah, that's what I reckon. I'll give it a good I reckon. Will the military version of the Ironclad be named the Iron Chad? Oh my god, you're the worst. The working title is the Ironclad Assault. The Ironclad Fatterpillar? Iron Chad? A lot of people like the Iron Chad name. I mean, I do. And I represent a lot of people. Why does the Firebird only have 20% signature reduction compared to all other sabers that have 40%? I don't know. Expect some of that stuff to get tweaked better. I would have thought it to be at least as stealthy as the rest of the sabers, right? Right. Fatterpillar is indeed the way. So I'm going to see who else is streaming, and then we'll sort of do a little wrap up. Bear with me 1 second. I want to get this video out. I've got a video on Hornets and the Ironclad, and that I'll get out in the next few minutes. Also, I think that Star Citizen is live streaming, right? Look. Inside Star Citizen live on? Mark? Yeah, it is. I'll send you over to Beautiful Super Mac Brothers. You can give some love to. I mean, we can raid the Star Citizen channel, but I think that it'd be nicer to raid. Plastic Death just give me loads of money. Thank you for loads of money. Afternoon to the Boston mods. Bets on the next ship to be upgraded to Mark II. Constellation series, maybe. Auroras? Or maybe they'll just actually just update the Auroras in general. Constellations would be nice. I see what you mean. Will other ships get Mark II'd? Yeah. Yeah, they could, couldn't they? For sure. It feels like the rework would be such an overhaul that they might as well. So maybe they'll want to keep... So the problem is if they Mark II anything, they'll want to keep the old ones in and still update them. So some ships will get updated but not Mark II'd. Some ships will get Mark II'd, and then both Mark 1s and Mark 2s will get updates. Like they're doing with the Hornets. But thank you so much, Blasted Death. That is a huge donation. You are a beautiful man. I love you. I'll sell my soul for £50. Arrow Mark II when does it need a Mark II? It's pretty. I like it as it is. Never really understood the process of legacy with death of a spaceman. Like if I die X amount of times, do I go into permadeath? Yes, and get a new account. Not a new account, create a new character on your account and then send it the stuff, and there's a level of death tax, but not like soul destroying. They want mortality to be a thing. They want you to not want to die. There might be a way of just being able to pay to have your DNA rejigged or whatever. So bear that in mind. But we'll see how it evolves. They're not going to make it so that everyone's like, we hate this. They want it so it's compelling. Misk Raptor Mark II. That's what you want. Right. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to send you over to... over to see Matt Brothers, because he's a beautiful boy. raid boop. Has that worked? No? Have I? Let's push this button. Let's do this. Has that worked? Oh god. Why am I... yeah, I see. I've worked out how to use the internet and computers. Thanks so much for watching. Genuinely appreciated. Thank you so much to everyone that has donated or subscribed or become a BoredGamer member or asked a question. I love you. Your mods are beautiful people as well. And we've got a new one. We've got Sharkbite. Thank you so much, Pastor Death. That's a huge donation. You are such a beautiful boy. Genuinely appreciated. I'm glad to have... I'm lucky and blessed to have people like you in the community that for some reason want to help me and continue to make content. Thank you so much. You take care. Hope you have a great Fleet Week and Ironclad on Saturday. I think it's going to be $400 to $450 to $500 and 2,400 SCU. Let's